Good morning, 2-3. Happy Tuesday. So yesterday you guys did a great job with your math lesson. I'm really proud of you for that. And we're just going to keep moving along. Today we are going to lesson 18. Just a reminder that you will have your end of module test on Friday. So any questions, again, anything you're concerned on, please reach out. We're here to help you so that way you're ready for a Friday. In the instructions, number one is to watch my video obviously first. Then you can watch the video on lesson 18 from YouTube, which is 6 minutes, which is titled right down here. You are going to then complete the problem set from lesson 18. As always, if you need help, you're going to let me know. And then I also always put the homework helper here for you. That's extra support for you if you need it when you're completing your lesson. So this is what we are working on today. We are going back, it's starting with if something is odd or even, okay? And that's kind of a review. I know you've all seen that before. And we're just going to go over it because we know that with Eureka sometimes the directions can be a little tricky, so that's the part that we need to be careful on today. So the very first part, it's saying that they want you to pair the objects to decide if the number of objects is even. So let's go over a couple things first. When we're talking about a pair, we know that we're talking about a group of two. Something that's a pair is two, okay? So think of things that are pairs. Your shoes have to be a pair. Your gloves are a pair. These are things that have to be two, okay? So a pair has to have two in it, and that's what makes it even. So when we think about even and odd, something that's even means that it has to have a pair. It's not left by itself. It has a pair, okay? Something that's odd is when one is left out and it does not have a pair and it's on its own. So anytime you have something that does not have a pair and it's on its own, that will be considered an odd number or an odd amount. Anytime it's even means that everything has a pair, there's always groups of two in that number, and they have another pair there, okay? So the very first thing they want us to do, obviously now, is they want us to circle pairs in the pictures that they're showing us. So you could just use your drawing tool, and they just want us to circle the pairs. So here's a pair, here's a pair, and here's a pair. So now when I look at this, I have to circle, is this even or is this not even? Well, when I look at this, I have nothing that's left by itself. So in this case, this would be even. Nothing is by itself. Now, if I had one, for example, that was left over here, a heart by itself, then that would be not even. So this is what you're doing for the next two, and then you'll see it again a little later, okay? So this part's pretty simple, just going over. They want you to circle the pairs and then say at the end, is it even or is it not even? Now for number two, this could be a little tricky. They started a pattern for you of pairs, and they want you to make pairs until you have 10 pairs, okay? So they started with one pair. This is only one pair, and in one pair you have two. Then they gave you two pairs, which is four. Then they gave you three pairs, which is six. Now you need to do four pairs, which would be 8. Then you would do 5 pairs, which would be 10. And they want you to keep going all the way till you have 10 pairs, which is going to bring you to this total. For this one, I gave you all the numbers on top because I want to make sure you understand it could be a little tricky. So here you're going to be showing me 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and then 20, okay? So for the drawing, you just go to your shapes. I mean, you could use circles if you want to. And then you're just going to be drawing your pairs. Okay, so they want 8 here. So you're just going to do 2, 4, 6, and then 8. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing here for 10. And then the same. Okay, so that's what they want you to do for this part. And again, I helped you out by putting the total at the top already. You're just filling in the rest of the pairs to match the number. Because on the next page, I'm making it clear that you will have to come back to this example and use this in the other questions. So it's very important that this is correct because a lot of other questions are going to be based off of this. So as long as you're making the array based on the number I put here, you're going to be fine, okay? All right, so then number 3 says that you're going to write the number of dots in each array in problem 2 in order from least to greatest. So you're going to come back here. Obviously, the least amount that you have is 2. And then they want you to write the number of dots you have from least to greatest. So right away they gave you 2, 4, 6. So all you would be doing here is you would be going, you could use your little text box, and then you would be writing 4. And then the next one, because we already know, is 6. And then I want you to fill in the rest based on your numbers, okay? Then for number 4 and 5, again, you're going to need to go back to problem 2. For number 4, it's saying circle the array in problem 2 that has 2 columns of 7. So remember, columns go up and down. So they want to know which of these is going to have 2 columns of 7. Do we have that yet? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we don't even have that option yet because the ones that we have here are not columns of 7 yet. The most we have is a column of 4. So you have to wait until you fill all this out before you could do that. So whenever you see that array, you're going to circle which one has 2 columns of 7. And then for number 5, you're going to circle the array in problem 2 that has 2 columns of 9. So basically for numbers 3, 4, and 5, you have to use number 2 to help you, okay? Then for number 6, it says redraw the following sets of dots as columns of 2 or 2 equal rows. So it's giving you the option that you could either draw them into 2 columns or 2 rows. They're leaving that up to you. So when you look at letter A, count how many total dots you have first, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all they're going to want you to do is they want you to draw that into either, like I said, 2 columns or 2 rows. So I'm just going to do 2 rows, and in each row I need to have 5. Then when I'm done, it says there are blank dots. So it's asking me how many dots are there in total. Well, we already said that there are 10 dots. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's saying, is 10 an even number? So here we're going to be writing either yes, it's even, or no, it's not. Well, now when we look at it like this and we see our array, we see that everything has a pair. There's nothing left out. So because nothing is left out and everything has a pair, we're going to be typing yes, it is an even number. And then now for letter B, you're going to do the same exact thing that I did here and match it over here, okay? Then for number 7, you are going to again look at the smiley faces and circle groups of 2. So circle pairs. That's the first thing they want you to do, is circle groups of 2, okay? So then you're going to count by 2s and see if the number of objects is even. So you need to circle groups of 2, and then you're going to answer these questions. There are, and you're going to count how many groups of 2 there are, and then you're going to tell me if there's any left over, and then you're going to count by 2s down here, and then this group has an even number of objects. If it does, you're going to put a check next to true, and if it doesn't, you're going to put a check next to false, okay? So you're going to base all of this off of the smiley faces. You have to circle groups of 2 first, okay? So that's all you're going to do. So I could start you off. You're just going to circle, I'll circle the first group of 2 right here. And then you're going to just continue circling groups of 2, okay? Then the next page is pretty much the same thing that you did on the first. Again, This is the last page. You're going to pair the objects again. So you're going to circle again the groups of 2, and then you're going to circle if that's even or not even. Again, it's even if they have a pair. It's not even if one is left out. And then here, you're going to end it with you're going to, now they want you to do counting down. Okay, before we were counting up 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, now they want you to count down until you have 0 pairs left. So they started you at 18, then 16, and then I kept going 14, 12, 10, and now I want you to finish. Okay, this one I want you now to try on your own, since the first one I pretty much gave you. So now this one you're going to make, your array based on the number 14, 12, 10. You don't stop at 10 because you have to get down to where you only have 0. Okay, and then you're done. So if you have any questions at all, you're confused, you don't understand, please reach out to me and let me know.